My name is Jacqueline Durran and I was the costume designer on Beauty and the Beast. What we wanted to do was to take the animated movie and augment elements of it. I mean, if you literally translated the animated image to the live action, it would be quite flat. So what we wanted to do was just bring new details to that, which would bring it to life. It was really important from the very beginning that Belle was an active heroine. Everything to do with the blue costume was about reinforcing that idea. The two elements were the original animated movie, which gave us the form of the costume, and then the input that the director and Emma wanted to bring to it. From the ground upwards, we started with the idea that she would be wearing a practical shoe, so we put her in a boot. She has bloomers under her skirt, which means that she's able to hitch her skirt up. She can walk anywhere, she can run uphill, she can ride a horse. She wears a blue bodice, referencing the original blue costume, but it's clear that it's not a corset, it doesn't restrict her in any way. We also gave Belle 18th century pockets. We discovered in our research of French regional costume that 18th century pockets weren't part of the garment, they were a separate thing that you tied around your waist. And in her pockets she has tools, apples for the donkey, books, anything she might need in her inventions or in her active life. The idea of Belle not really feeling like she belonged, it's a sort of dreamer's idea. She's living there, but she reads and she's fascinated in the big wide world beyond the village. The yellow dress is a curious costume because it's quite simple and quite difficult at the same time. The iconic yellow dress from the animation is so great and so well loved that you don't really want to change it. That really that's what we're doing, is we're making the yellow dress as it is in the animation. However, there are elements that need to be incorporated that come from our live action version. We have a historical setting for a start. We have a magical castle in Garderobe who's involved in making the dress. And we have Belle as an active heroine. So that also has to play into this. Using the 18th century as a reference led us in the direction of making a coat dress with a split front. That was something that turned out to be really useful in the creation of the volume of the skirt. We constructed it with petticoats and layers of satin organza. The three tiers in the skirt were a way of giving the dress more movement as she danced, and also referencing the ruching on the skirt in the original animation. The same magical principle runs through the jewellery that we created for Belle. She has, in quite a modern way, a gold ear cuff which sits into her ear and grows up round the side. And the necklace that she wears is very organic. It's part of the whole idea of everything in the castle moving and growing. Once I really got into it and started working with the elements in the animation and, making them live action, changing them, just tweaking them a bit, I began to see first how successful the animation was and how clever it was, and again how much it meant to people and what an important film it was. The Disney princesses are a fantastic modern way of looking at fairy tales, and I think we've always been obsessed with fairy tales. I mean, that's a truism because fairy tales have carried on existing for all these centuries, and in fact longer. They're a way to allow you to dream about something or a different life.